What's going on, guys? We are back. The disembodied voice of Tommy has returned. And if you're on podcast mode, I guess that's not that weird. So I'll stop saying it now. And we're here today for another episode of Tales from the Greenwich Colonies. As always, Josh and Jason and Tiki and Ross, thank you guys for your support on Patreon. Levi, thanks for hanging out, throwing dice around with us. Time's come for the very last of our prologues. Time's come to get an old friend of mine back into the swing of things in now an official professional sense. You see that apartment that dude in the top left is in? Yeah, that's where I learned how to play Pathfinder. And I couldn't have a YouTube channel, a Twitch channel, a career without that dude. So that is proof enough that Pisskicker is not just some random name. He's not that guy who's like, oh, here's a name, Pisskicker. We have in my in-person game on Sundays, we have a gnome named Nanfoodle Santorum, he's kind of played that role in the party, and it's become a running joke that like when someone Nanfoodles it, they're being that player. But Josh is not. Josh is great, and I'm muting Ross. Kill it.
All right. Well, then. Welcome back, everybody. Where last time I got told that I was the first person on this YouTube to do some worse than just spill a beer. So, I'll take that as an accomplishment. Apparently killing the babies is an amazing milestone on this channel.
Achievement unlocked!
But yes, with that in mind, welcome back to yet another episode or adventure or, well, continual stream if you're watching on Twitch of Tales from the Greenwich Colonies. Our little Pathfinder GESTALT game we got going here, set in the playtest, and more specifically going to be set in my semi-homebrewed setting. It's set in Galarion, but it's set in a different part of Galarion. Yada, yada, yada. Links will be caught in the first prologue, and I'll explain it more in depth on the first proper episode. But as joining me today, as told by the disembodied voice of Tommy, I have a one by the name of Pisskicker? Is that what I need to address you as?
It sure is, buddy.
All right, Pisskicker, why don't you tell me about yourself then, your background, more specifically your character's background. I'm not here to hear your life story. That'd be probably pretty boring.
Well, I was raised in a family of nobles that always pushed me to be the best kind of person I could be. The problem is that my father's father was a barbarian. And even though my parents skipped that generation, I feel the power of my animal totem. And my parents tried to raise me to suppress it and all that, but they couldn't do it. They tried to teach me discipline. My father is a blacksmith. He tried to teach me how to be a blacksmith. I learned a few things, but darn it, I just couldn't keep to it because I want to go swing on ropes, and I want to knuckle drag through the forest, and I want to beat my chest and proclaim myself as the toughest son of a gun ever to live, and they even sent me off to boot camp to see if the local militia could get the wildness out of me, and it didn't work. So now I'm going from town to town trying to find up myself and find out what this animal rage inside of me, what I'm supposed to do with it. But one thing I know I do want to do is I want to become something great, a great general, a great commander, so that when I see them again, I can rub in their noses and say, look at me. Yeah, I'm a barbarian, but darn it, I'm someone important. You told me I couldn't do it, and I proved you wrong.
I think we can all appreciate that, being able to tell people we're wrong, especially those that are closest and dearest to us. But yes, with that sort of story in mind, and may I say, it's a delightful one, we're going to open up. And specifically, you yourself have, for a while now, been out of the militia. You've probably been hunting for jobs, doing work as a mercenary, so that way you can find that next big thing, that one sort of event to drive you into the big time and make your name well known. And at the moment, you're unfortunately definitely not in that position, as you are guarding a merchant, specifically a one Count Turatio, who, bit of a stuck-up asshole, but he does have a lot of money, and he does have a lot of power. And as such, you are serving as one of his guards due to the fact that you're big, you're tall, guards kind of just talking to themselves.
Okay, so I'd like to make a perception check in that case to see if I can hear what they're specifically saying.
And I, as Tommy, son of Harry, am very glad that I kind of had an internet poop there, and I just came back just in time. I am rolling for Josh today. He's just on mobile. He is the bravest of all of us.
I've got a +2 because I have a 2 proficiency.
And you got a total of 7. 5 plus 2 is I'm not good at rolling.
You hear something along the lines of "Ja," and you just kind of like, what the? Do you like walk over or anything?
I'm gonna start walking over. That I'm not sure what that, if it's a name or if it's a place or anything like that. But
you are a human, a full-blooded human, but you are the type of human that can even impose over certain half-orcs just by your sheer muscular and stature alone. And you just kind of walk over to these normal humans and whatnot, and they just kind of see you and go, hello, sir.
I'm going to ask them how it's going. Like, I heard them talking, and I want to be part of the conversation. And
it's going well enough. Some of us were talking about Master Teratio's ship about to set sail in a matter of a day or so. But, well, just shooting the shit about stuff that's been going on in the colonies, apparently. Some crazy things have been going on over there.
Anybody I can beat up?
They all just kind of like look at one another, a sort of uncertain look to them. I don't really know of anyone. There are many things you could punch over there, but I wouldn't say very many people.
Good, because so far this has been boring. This merchant, there's nobody coming after him. I don't get to choke anybody. Like
two of the 3 guards you're talking to are very clearly like glancing at one another with big wide eyes.
I mean, I could go stand in a tree if I wanted to stand around.
Well, then, I mean, if you're into punching and choking things, perhaps you should go to one of the frontiers. I mean, Greenwich is somewhere that I imagine Master Teratio, if you get his blessings, would allow you to go, and the gods know there are some dangerous and strange creatures out that way.
Well, I just know that I want to beat up some things, and this hide armor I've got on is getting old. I need to replace it. Then I walk back to the merchant I'm supposed to be guarding.
All right.
And as I walk away, I kind of tuck on my old leather armor, kind of,
Just hear one say, "I'm sorry, is he a man or an ape?" It's that sort of like cameras lingering behind you, and the audience just hears like, as the one guard that's just kind of like wide-eyed the most, just kind of step over, is like, "Is that a man or an ape?" And we jump back over to you walking up to Merchant Teratio's study. The door is shut. What do you do?
Okay. Well, I'm tempted to knock on it. Has the merchant given me any specific instructions, like don't disturb him or?
Yes.
Okay. Well, imagine if I disturb him, that won't be a good selling point for me going on a boat over to the over where he's going. I don't have a negative to any of my intelligence, so I'm not dumb. I'm feral.
I wouldn't even see a negative to your intelligence would make you go, that might not be the best idea. That's more so a negative to your charisma. Just like not being able to read social cues is where I'd say like -1 charisma comes into play.
Charisma, so. I'm gonna wait by the door and maybe waiting for an opportunity if he steps out, maybe try to get a word with him.
As you do so, you do eventually hear a few thuds against the door, and you just kind of go, "What the?" As the door opens and Mr. Teratio's secretary walks out. She sees you and goes, and then just walks away faster as Mr. Teratio himself steps out. Oh, what are you doing here? I thought your march was scheduled to be around the other side of the mansion. I myself am not leaving my home. I have sailors to do that for me.
Okay, well, I could try diplomacy to kind of get a charisma bonus to it, but I'm not proficient.
Yeah, you can do that.
Sure, let me, because I definitely don't want to intimidate him.
Are you trained in diplomacy?
He is.
No, I just have it.
That would be a -2 then.
Yeah. Because
Okay,
now
so it's going to be a 0 that I roll.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have a 14 charisma. You were the most charismatic barbarian I've ever been in a party with. So -4 + 2 is d20 -2 coming in for a grand total of shabam, a 13. Natural 15, not bad.
Indeed, not bad at all. Your natural points kind of just... At first, Horatio almost seems like you're just a brute, but eventually your points kind of come across and he just starts rubbing his chin. So, what you mean to tell me is, you want to do this in order to, what, go out there and seek glory or something?
I hear things over there to beat up. There are challenges to be overcome. And, you know, as much as I like getting paid to guard you, sir, I'd like to do that and also, you know, scratch the quote-unquote itch that I have to embrace my wilder side.
He kind of just rubs his beard, his chin a bit and says, "Come inside," and he walks into his study.
Okay, I walk in when I carefully sit down if he tells me to.
He does not. He walks over to a desk, kind of sits down behind it. You don't see any other chairs for him, really. Just a sip at a glass. As you look around the study, it's very fancy, very nice, mahogany and everything. As you just kind of look around, he says, "Do you see anything wrong with this room?"
I think that's a perception check.
That's like, you don't see anything wrong because you don't. That would be more of a social check. Like, I'd say
so,
more
like
high society or something.
Or like perception to like sense motive him.
Sure, you could do that.
He's got a 9, another 7 + 2.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't take a high roll to know this guy's being, like, he honestly expects you to get this wrong.
No, I don't notice anything wrong with this room. Should I?
It's missing a focal piece. It's missing something to make it pop. Something that I can display proudly and show as a symbol of my power and influence. I have a simple task of you. If you are going to this Greenwich Isles, I want you to slay me a beast and bring me its head so I may mount it and wave it as my own accomplishment.
Partner, you got a deal. I shake his hand.
He doesn't shake. He looks up to you. But there is one beast I ask of you in particular. I want you to bring me the head of a Jabberwocky. There have been legends, sightings of them walking amongst the ruins in the Greenwich Isles of an ancient colony predating even the Atlantes. I think it makes its home there. Perhaps some sort of leftover the first draft of the world is there. But long story short, I want you to bring me its head. And then we can consider our debt done. I'm not going to take the glory for killing it, of course, if that makes it better for you. You can wholeheartedly take the glory for its death, but it will be my prize.
I will do this gladly for you. I say this, like, believe knowing enough that this is what the creature he's mentioned is probably bigger and tougher than what I fought before. But I don't want it. But at the same time, I don't want to look like I've suddenly lost my nerve.
You could roll me a nature, arcana, or a history check. Well, I think rather than nature, more occult. Arcana or occult.
He is untrained in all of the above. So here we go.
Alright.
We go back in time 2 weeks. So it's not a -4.
No.
6 - 4 is 2.
You don't know why, but all you can think of as you hear that name is chicken.
I start to smile very widely and say it's as good as done.
Excellent. Well, my ship will be setting sail within a few days' time. Until then, would you mind continuing your current duty so I can find a replacement?
Absolutely. And I graciously leave the room, and
Oh, wait.
as soon as...
Before you leave, here, take this as a down payment, and he slides over a platinum piece to you.
Thank you.
And with that, you are free to leave.
All right, I do so.
And I presume you get on the ship a few days later with a couple of dwarves, one looking drunk, one looking solemn, just kind of mulling to yourself, how am I going to kill this oversized chicken? And that's where your prologue ends.
What do you mean you don't drink beer?
That was incredible.
I want to blame this all on Tommy, because he mentioned that the Jabberwocky is the most dangerous thing in the playtest bestiary in one of his videos.
Definitely is the strongest thing in the playtest bestiary. And the one time I fought a Jabberwocky in 1E, actually it was Josh running it. So that's a thing that happened.
Yeah, why do you think I was like, is this like Tommy's revenge?
Tommy's revenge that Ross had no idea about. It's come full circle.
It's sorry for the interruption. I couldn't help myself.
No, you're fine. You're so fine.
What were you trying to say, Buff?
It's what we call karma.
That is accurate. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And now we're done with the prologues. We are, as of next week, we're kicking off, well, next week on Twitch, or next week for you as well, I guess, also on YouTube, kicking off session 1, where we all kill each other very dead. And we'll see you then. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Stop the stream.